I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Wednesday, November 11th, Veterans Day. The big news in Arkansas is a state government issue that is worth paying attention to. Governor Asa Hutchinson administration has restarted the eligibility certification process for Medicaid coverage under the private option version of Obamacare that the legislature approved. You may remember that this was a debacle for the state. We broke federal law by giving people too short a time to answer questions about their eligibility. We didn't include people who clearly were eligible. They threw 60,000 people off the rolls in the first botched rollout of the eligibility check. They've now found most of these people were in fact eligible. The rules are going to be changed. They're going to have 30 days as the law requires to certify eligibility if they haven't mailed something in. They're going to let people who qualify for food stamps, which has a strenuous eligibility check, automatically be enrolled. The same thing for people where the state's records show they have no income at all. What do they need to prove if the state's own records say they have no income? The biggest thing to remember about this is the Hutchinson administration said throughout this mess that they thought this was a good process. It wasn't, and that a lot of the people who were thrown off were ineligible. They weren't. He didn't tell the truth. That's just a fact. They did a check, by the way, on the 3,200 people who've now been recertified as eligible. And they found that of those people who'd applied, and they found of those 3,200 people, only 22 were ineligible for benefits. That's a tiny 0.6% error rate. That's far less than what some of the Republican legislators were bragging about after a consultant raised some questions about potential ineligible people. Well, on to other topics. The Republicans had another debate last night. I think the sense of the viewing public was that Marco Rubio won, not so much on substance. He's a very glib debater and avoids specifics a lot, but they like his style. Mike Huckabee, who was in the kiddie table debate before the main debate, embarrassed himself again last night, a lame joke about his wife, and he also suggested those Syrian refugees aren't really true Syrian refugees. They're just people looking for a free meal and some medical care from the U.S. Very insensitive comment. He got bad reviews for his remarks last night. The Bailey family of Little Rock, longtime supporters of UALR, have contributed another $2 million to its foundation for the school to help provide scholarships for people who can't afford to attend college. The Lake Village City Council last night down in southeast Arkansas voted unanimously to change the name of Confederate Street to name it after Sergeant Thomas Armour, a Lake Village man who served with distinction in Vietnam. The street has all black residents. It seemed like the right thing to do. The vote was unanimous. A gun was fired in a car outside of Batesville Elementary School this morning. One student was showing it to another student. The other student was not killed but was injured. Another gun that didn't make anybody any safer. The transit tax, Rock Region Metro wants to increase the sales tax by 1/4 cent in Pulaski County to pay for better bus service. We need better bus service. It's going to be a hard road. The Quorum Court has to put this on the ballot in 2 weeks. They may be a vote short in getting it done. Republicans think we should only vote on tax issues at general elections. It's kind of a slap in the face of the primary elections in which both parties have full slates of candidates, and all the judges run in that election, not in the general election. There'll be plenty of people voting in March. We ought to have the tax vote then and let people vote. Dan Ferret, the interim chancellor of the University of Arkansas, issued a heartfelt statement yesterday to all on the campus community to be tolerant of diversity and to look out for others and to treat all equally. This is his response, and I think it was an emotional one of the problems in Missouri where the campus has been riven by controversy over racial treatment of people. The New York Attorney General yesterday ruled that fantasy football was not just a game of skill, it was gambling, and it was not legal under the laws of New York. You know, I think they play a little fantasy football in Arkansas, and I think most people view it as a wagering activity, however much skill may be involved in drafting your teams. We have something that's akin to that going on in our casinos here too as well. Those are electronic games of skill, those slot machines. Nobody dare call those things gambling, do they? And finally, back to Veterans Day, I want to give a tribute to veterans. I have a very emotional tie of my own. My own parents met in India during World War II, and that picture you see there's my mother, a fighting dietitian, Lieutenant Betty Mueller, riding shotgun in a Jeep on her service to the United States. I've always been proud of them for it. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.
You feel it in your heart, the spirit of Little Rock. We've had that spirit since 1927, helping build our city by producing decades of leaders in the heart of our state. We are the heart of business and innovation, the heart of politics and government, the heart of arts and culture, and in our city beats the heart of a Trojan. UALR, we are Little Rock's team.